Your TTT News update, I am Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. The Tobago People's Party has made a clean sweep in the Tobago House of Assembly election. On Monday, the party, the TPP, captured all 15 seats in the THA elections, shutting out every opposing party. Preliminary results show that all People's National Movement candidates were defeated, including former Seoul PNM Assemblyman Kelvin Morris. TPP head Folly Augustine spoke to his jubilant followers.
The last 4 years, through which we saw many ups and downs, many trials, not of our own doing. This is a vindication that truly, when you sow in tears, you reap with joy. And today, the people of Tobago stood up.
Mr. Augustine noted that their hard work over the last 4 years has paid off with this show of dedication by the people of Tobago. He noted that this is the second time, in the last 45 years that a political party has won all the seats in the Tobago House of Assembly.
The young people in Tobago today, they said today, our young people said today, Penny, your pennies are powerless in Tobago.
To form the administration and gain control of the THA, a party needed to secure at least 8 of the 15 available seats. That threshold was crossed early in the count by 9:06 p.m. TPP Chairman Ann Natasha II declared victory for the party after preliminary tallies showed the TPP leading in between 8 and 12 seats across the island. By 10 p.m., the party confidently announced a complete 15-0 sweep. Meanwhile, PNM Tobago Council leader Ansel Dennis conceded defeat at approximately 10 p.m., acknowledging the party's loss as the results became increasingly clear. In more news, as the curtain came down on the Tobago House of Assembly election at 6 p.m. on Monday, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service expressed satisfaction that the electoral process was conducted in a safe, calm, and orderly manner. In a release, police said officers were strategically deployed across polling divisions throughout the day to ensure public safety and the smooth conduct of voting. The police service expressed gratitude to members of the public for their cooperation and to its officers for their professionalism, vigilance, and dedication in maintaining a secure voting environment. They noted that as the nation transitions into the post-election period, the public is urged to continue acting responsibly, remain respectful toward others, and comply with the law, including and during any celebrations. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said it remains committed to preserving public order and ensuring the safety of all. In more news, infrastructural works are ongoing in the Piparo area to repair roadways damaged by recent activity at the mud volcano. TTT News visited the area on Monday alongside Member of Parliament Dr. Aina Ali and Chairman of the Kuva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation, Ryan Rampersad. Residents who were affected by the recent activity at the Piparo mud volcano now have improved access to their homes. This as works are continuing in the area to repair the damage caused by land movement. Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Aina Ali, gave an update on the situation in an exclusive interview with TTT News.
Assured all the residents that they are safe. The volcano is not active according to the UAE Seismic Research Center. And in terms of infrastructural work, we not only restored access to the residents, we also improved accessibility on other parts of the road. We also ensured that they had good water access and electricity was also restored.
Ms. Ali said while the volcano is not showing any significant signs of activity, there's an interim emergency plan in place.
So on January 2nd, I attended a meeting at the Piparo Community Center with ODPM, TTFS, TTPS, among other organizations, key stakeholders, and we are working to get a plan in place for that, so that will be made available to the residents as soon as possible. However, in the meantime, we do have a plan, a temporary plan. So we have different shelters. They have WhatsApp groups where they could make reports as soon as it happens, so that everyone will be aware of it.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Couva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation, Ryan Rampersad, adds that all the relevant agencies are on standby. In some sport now, the Trinidad and Tobago Schools Basketball Association has announced that the opening ceremony of the secondary schools will take place this Thursday at the Eastern Regional Indoor Sporting Arena in Tacarigua. The opening ceremony will feature a showcase series, giving media houses a first look at the talent across different districts and divisions. During the series, we will see teams from North, East, and South zones all competing. In a media release, the TTSBA referred to the event as more than just a ceremony, but a statement of intent for the future of basketball in the nation's schools. And that's what's making the news this morning. But at this time, we have Virmala Balkaran, the host of the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show, on standby. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you this morning?
I'm doing quite well. How about you?
I'm doing good. Carrie, I have a question for you. I heard that you love martial arts. Is that true?
Oh, yes. I've done martial arts for, 17 years of my life?
That's a long time. Well, I've got some good news for you this morning. Are you a Bruce Lee fan?
Big Bruce Lee fan. Ever since I was small, my cousin and I would go outside and play karate, as we used to say.
I actually have a birthday gift coming up for you on February 18th. The U.S. Postal Service is honoring the legendary martial artist Bruce Lee with a new forever stamp. So I think that's going to be a great birthday gift for you.
It will be February 18th, you know?
Yeah, and that's a special day. Yeah. Also today, Carrie, on the show, it's another bumper morning for us. It's a blue morning in Tobago. Congratulations to the TPP for a clean sweep. We chat in a short bit with Mr. Farley Augustine and so many other guests, and we delve deep on everything happening on TNT today.
Oh yes, looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Virmala. When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going right after this break.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Being gentle with each other and your feelings and creating this safe space. It should be a safe space to be able to share your feelings and your emotions and even things that you don't like or have an issue with. It should feel safe.
Yes.
And you shouldn't feel like you're so afraid to come to your partner to say something because, oh my gosh, as you said, they're going to threaten me with this, that, and the other. They might leave me, I don't know, and there's so much stress oftentimes that people carry, that they kind of ball up and they stay in a corner and stay in a shell until, perhaps they explode or perhaps they walk away.
Right. And we want you to know that no marriage is beyond repair. No relationship is beyond repair. But when you're considering timelines and how long something should take, definitely your welfare, your well-being, your safety, you want to consider all of these aspects.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
January 13th, 2026. The time now is 6:10 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran and welcome to TNT Today. Congratulations to the TPP running away with all 15 seats in Tobago. To gain control of the THA, a party had to win 8 of the 15 THA seats. And by around a little over 9 p.m. yesterday, the TPP chairman and Natasha II declared victory when the party was leading in 8 to 12 seats. Around 11 p.m., Mr. Farley Augustine addressed supporters saying, "This is the second time in the last 45 years a political party has won all the seats." PNM Tobago Council leader Ansel Dennis conceded defeat at 10 p.m. He said, "We have lost the election. I don't know by how many seats or margins, but we've lost. Following the results, I will be stepping aside as leader." This morning, we'll be joined eventually by Chief Secretary Farley Augustine. Then later on, and maybe shortly, a political analyst, Dr. Shane Mohammed, and other key voices in Tobago. We'll also take a closer look at what the results mean for Tobago's future, the voices shaping public opinion, and the policies now under the spotlight. Also ahead this morning, we turn our focus to sweeping amendments to the Maternity Protection Act and the introduction of paternity leave. The president of the Fathers Association sits with us today on TNT Today. And also Shamla Maraj joins us once again for her segment, Redefining Normal. So that's definitely something you don't want to miss. And then, of course, that's very, very close to my heart. Why are we treating our animals so poorly? Rescuers are inundated. Shelters are filled to capacity. What are we doing as a society to fix this? Clifford Tardew of Tardew Sanctuary joins me, and we may have a little cute furry surprise in store for you as well. And to close the show today, Trinbago-born Nil Bamboo shares a bit about her global R&B journey. But standing by on the line, we've got Dr. Shane Mohammed joining us to talk all about the THA elections that went down yesterday. And of course, we've got that victory speech for you before we get into that.
Yes. She saw many ups and downs, many trials, not of our own doing. This is a vindication that truly, when you saw it tears and weep with joy. And today, the people of Tobago stop.
Good morning again if you're just joining us, and we are talking all about the THA elections. Dr. Shane Mohammed will be joining us on Zoom. We've got so many other guests to bring on the show for you to tell you a little bit about what this means for Tobago going forward. Remember, it's a bumper show today. You don't want to miss it. We are also streaming live on our social media platforms. You can check us out there and send us all your feedback. Very shortly, we'll have an email for you. And of course, very soon, we'll also have a birthday club so you can send all your messages there. What's happening in Tobago this morning? Everyone's waking up to a blue morning. They're calling it the blue wave, I believe. And joining us later on the show, we've got some youth voices. That's something you don't want to miss. They're telling us how they're feeling about everything happening in Tobago. Of course, we've got lined up on Zoom this morning, Dr. Shane Mohammed, political analyst, no stranger to TTT. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? I'm pretty sure you had a very busy night.
I would enjoy some level of sleep later today.
Well, let's hope you can get that today. Well, let's get right into it, Dr. Mohammed. Thanks once again for joining us on Trinidad and Tobago today. Dr. Mohammed, the TPP won the THA elections. Clean sweep. What does that result tell us immediately about the mood of the voters in Tobago?
I think going into the election, there was no doubt, at least in my mind, that the TPP was going to be re-elected for a second term. The question really was by how much and to what extent they were going to be elected. And going into the election, I proposed a conservative number of 10-5 because it was based on the trending numbers of the 21 election and then the general election of 2025. And finding that there were still some seats that, even though there was a clean sweep for the general election, when you mapped that across the island in electoral districts, there were some electoral districts that fell short for the CPP. And so therefore the task with that knowledge, the task for the CPP was to ensure that they closed the margins in those four seats to ensure that they were able to select the 15 mil. So, and that's exactly what they did yesterday. So the election day machinery was able to withstand the entire day, and it stood up for the entire period. So it was able to give the results that they got last night. It was also going to be a test for the PNM to decide whether or not their structure, their campaign, their leadership, their candidates resonated with the ground, resonated with PNM supporters, and whether Mr. Morris himself stood up to public scrutiny and delivered over the 4 years in opposition representation effectively. And what we saw last night was a complete and absolute rejection of the People's National Movement, all of its candidates, including its outgoing leader, Ansel Dennis, former chief secretary, and also rejection of the minority leader, now outgoing assemblyman for Dallas Springwind. So a lot of work to be done by the PNM, a lot of serious questions to be asking themselves, introspection, reconstruction. Yeah, that's, like I did say that election night would have given several results. It would have put people in political retirement. It would have continued and elevated people's political careers, and people would have been new persons would have been starting a political life in public service, and that's exactly what happened.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed. Now, the Tobago People's Party was only formed a short while ago, and this was their first THA election. Quite an achievement to pull off such a commanding victory in a short time frame, don't you think?
No, actually. I think it's very deserving. I think I give credit where it's due. The THA executive, the TPP, given the transition from PDP and the circumstances that led to the emerging of a new party called the Tobago People's Party, and staying steadfast in their duties and responsibilities, given the conditions that would have existed between and the relationship between the central government and the TPP and the THA executive for almost all of their tenure in office up until April, which was quite hostile. In some instances, they struggled to get communication going, to agree on national decisions, on decisions for Tobago, to be consulted with, to have, a camaraderie and civility with the central government was a task in itself. In addition to getting the resources, utilizing, I always say that, the TPP exhibited a mantra that Mr. Pandey and Mr. Manning had spoken about during their tenure in office in the 1990s, which was doing a lot with little. And I think that doing a lot with little was able to still sustain a minimum of 10 seats going into the election. And it was only a matter of them putting the work in to ensure that they were able to capture the victory of 15. It says as well that persons were not prepared to just, dismiss them after 4 years, understanding that, they've done well. The results will show in certain seats like Canaan Bonaccord and Booker Mount Pleasant that they were also able to capture votes that does not necessarily come out to vote in certain areas, and persons came to support them. So that says a lot as well. It would be interesting to analyze the numbers when the EDP puts out the preliminary report to kind of an idea of what exactly happened on the ground. Mm-hmm. But at the very preliminary level, the TPP was not, people were not dissatisfied to the extent that they were not willing to give them a second chance. And that's to their credit and the work that they've done over the 4 years.
Well, before we wrap up, Dr. Mohammed, analysts have said that the real test really begins after the election dust settles, and I know you'll agree with me. What do you think success will look like for the TPP in, let's say, the first 100 days?
Oh, the first 100 days would be about setting a policy agenda that speaks to delivery, that speaks to implementation of new policies, that speaks to a Tobago that has been envisioned through their blueprint and their manifesto, what the short, medium, and long-term deliverables are going to be, what the short, medium, and long-term policies and policy implementations are going to look like. And really and truly, charting the way forward in the next 4 years, I would say it should be split into quarters, so 25% in terms of achieving the goals for the next 4 years as to what is the ultimate goal for Tobago. And I think one of the ultimate goals is to have a discussion and an explanation and a vision on paper, and then in consultation as to what they think that autonomy should look like for Tobago, and how does that map out into a short, medium, and long-term process. So, really and truly, because this is a continuum as well, because several persons are returning in office, and therefore this should be a very easy transition because it's really continuing. I think it should be easy to do some very key deliverables and achievements for the first 100 days. But beyond that, really, I think Tobagonians are looking for a better life. That now that there's a new administration with a new central government, it's a refresh, it's a restart. So greater cohesion, collectiveness, consultations, conversations, greater utilizations of monies that have been allocated for this financial year, the start of new projects and that sort of thing. So there's a lot that now has to be shouldered by the 15-0. Great expectations come with great responsibilities, and they need to deliver. And not having an official opposition in Tobago now also requires them to be more responsive, better communicators, better communication, because there's nobody to really and truly. The PNM has to reconstruct themselves in a whole new manner that makes them some sort of force to ask questions. Mm-hmm. So there will be a greater need for accountability, transparency, and communication with the public.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed. All eyes on Tobago. Thank you for joining us on TNT today. Well, when we come back from this short break, we've got on the line waiting for you, Farley Augustine. We're talking all about that TPP success, the THA elections.
Next, 99.1 FM, Soca Dominion, where Soca lives.
Give me a chance to wine on you, so I can win with you, and I can jam with you. Give me another chance so I can...
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
One point that we could bring there, or that at least from my point of view, you were never really given an ultimatum. Mm-hmm. So we never spoke about this should take you 2 months, 1 day, 5 days, 6 days, right, because of the magnitude of what was being asked of you. Mm-hmm. And that brings me to a very important point when you are setting timelines or ultimatums or roadmaps to get that behavior change. It's, first of all, does your spouse have the willingness to accede to those changes? And I think for you, for what I saw a genuine effort. It wasn't, it wasn't a straight graph that, okay, one day like this and then progressively, smoothly. It was a smooth graph, no dips, no change. No,
Yeah.
there were ups and downs in getting there, but there was a willingness, and I think willingness and intent and being on the same page and being motivated to change is a big factor as to how much grace you give someone.
Yeah.
Versus, okay, what timeline should I give someone who doesn't want to change?
Right,
And the behavior is very destructive.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Welcome back to TNT Today. All eyes on Tobago. They're calling it a blue wave. And joining us this morning, Mr. Farley Augustine. And he's on Zoom with us this morning. Good morning, Mr. Augustine.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good
Congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you very much. Certainly, it's an exciting time for me and for the Tobago People's Party. Very exciting time for the team. I mean, the joy is certainly overwhelming.
I hear they're calling it a blue wave.
Well, it's more like a blue tsunami.
So, Mr. Augustine, what do you think was the decisive factor in your party's victory?
I think the decisive factor had to have been the rollout of the blueprint for Tobago and the amount of work we placed in getting the island prepared for a progressive agenda. Part of that rollout included a reflection on the last 4 years and what we were able to deliver in the last 4 years. In that rollout, we touched on almost every single facet of Tobago's development that was required. And we did painstakingly do the research, the feasibility studies. We did not just slap things together and call it a manifesto. And I think in having those conversations with Tobagonians instead of a campaign that attempted to slander our opponents and having a very mature approach to the politics resulted in the victory we received yesterday.
Yeah. Mr. Augustine, what message do you think Tobagonians were sending in this vote? A very big message.
Well, there are a couple messages. One, Tobagonians were saying, look, we think that the team that's currently in charge needs some more time to continue developing the island. 4 years was not enough. Secondly, Tobagonians rejected, I think, 4 years of a sort of slanderous opposition to our governance. They rejected policies, certainly from the previous central government that sought to act as stumbling blocks in our way. And this was almost like revenge for Tobagonians. But I'm also mindful that part of the message, given that we did in fact have a turnout less than what we really want to see in a democracy, that there are still many Tobagonians that require a lot more from the political systems that govern them. And we are keen to observe all of these messages, not just the ones that favor us, but the ones that say, look, we did not vote because we were either unsure or we feel like we want to see more. That will move us from a state of apathy to a state of wanting to participate in a democracy. And certainly Tobago, like the rest of the Caribbean, we are grappling with a general sense of apathy and people not turning out to the polls. So that too, we are anxious to correct by how we govern over the next 4 years.
So, to the Tobagonians who voted or didn't vote, what can they expect to see in the next 30 to 60 days?
Well, several things. Firstly, by statute, by our law, by Act 40 of 1996, the swearing-in must take place by Thursday. That's mandatory, unless there are extenuating circumstances, such as natural disasters. So that will happen first, and that will result in the selection and swearing in of a chief secretary and deputy chief secretary. For those who don't know, unlike the national parliament, a chief secretary is not appointed by the president at all. In fact, the president has no real say in the selection of a chief secretary. The chief secretary is actually voted for from among the elected members in the House. And once that happens, we then elect a deputy chief secretary. You will also see in that process the election from the members of a presiding officer that will take charge of the House of Assembly, the appointment of 3 councillors as well. In the next 30 days, you will also see the appointment of other secretaries by the chief secretary. And in the next 30 days, you will get an initial rollout from us of how we are going to make provisions for democratic functioning of the Tobago House of Assembly. Given that we won all seats, we are anxious to ensure that we put provisions and mechanisms in place so that the public can continue to have a say, the public can speak to their representatives, that their voices can be heard, including criticisms, and so that we don't rule over the next 4 years with a heavy hand and become elected dictators, but that we manage the affairs of Tobago in such a way that the people of Tobago are justly proud and that the people of Tobago can participate directly in the democracy. So people can look forward to some very new and novel provisions from this Tobago House of Assembly, which will allow for the actual members of the public, residents and citizens of Tobago, to be actively engaged in decision making.
Well, speaking of the citizens, how soon can Tobago see job creation or economic stimulus measures?
Well, we have been inputting some of those measures from our last team. The continuation of those measures will happen within the next quarter in this calendar year. We're talking about measures that look at things like the new baby grant, which I started myself, and the provisions made in a package designed to help parents and parenting and children. They can look forward to seeing in this fiscal year measures such as the Tobago Development Fund. We have already injected over $10 million in that fund. More will be injected in this fiscal year. That is meant to allow for indigenous Tobago businesses to have access to credit and access to capital outside of the traditional financial institutions, making it easier for them to have access. That too will help with job creation. We are looking at our vacancies and the daily rated cadre and how we can fill those quickly with, of course, collaboration with our unions as important stakeholders. And so those measures for job creation, economic growth, you can see them beginning almost immediately. Many of them are actually going to be a continuation of what was already started. If you look at the data Tobago has a lower unemployment rate than most of our neighboring territories, including Barbados and Grenada. And so we intend very much to continue with that program of work.
Mr. Augustine, how do you plan to govern those who didn't vote for your party?
Well, I've always governed those who did not vote for my party because I believe in the policy, and the party I represent operates with one of the values being that we ought to create a coalition of the competent and the willing, which means that we take on board those who did not even support us. Wherever there is talent, we work with such talent. The fact is, our current membership, elected membership, includes persons who were PNM, persons who were TOP, persons who were Tobago Forwards, persons who never joined politics a day in their life. And so it's really a potpourri of political origins resulting in this great revolution that is the Tobago People's Party. And because of that, we are always able and always conscious of the fact that there are differing views across the space, and that we ought to make a platform available for those views. But most importantly, that when we govern, we are inclusive enough to include those who did not support us.
And what is your message today to the central government of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Augustine?
The most important message to the central government is that we need to work together in realizing greater autonomy for Tobago. And greater autonomy for Tobago at this time does not look like a separation from the state that is Trinidad and Tobago. What it means is that we have a much more empowered Tobago, a Tobago with lawmaking powers, certainly over the existing 33 areas for which THA have authority, that we have an empowered Tobago that can contribute even more meaningfully to the national economy. And so collaboration with the central government is needed almost immediately, and immediate as this morning. We are sending some notices to the Office of the Attorney General to consider some simple amendments, two simple amendments that will allow for easier and better functioning of the Tobago House of Assembly. So the collaboration begins almost immediately. As a matter of fact, the collaboration started before this election. It's because of that collaboration we received the highest input from the national budget ever at 5%. It's because of that collaboration and the work of our members of parliament, East and West, the Study Park Quarry or the Study Park Enterprise Limited received an export license for the first time in its history. And so collaboration has resulted in Tobago benefiting, and we wish to continue that collaboration. Certainly, we have had areas where we did not always agree 100%, but we have had mutual respect for each other. We have been communicating respectfully with each other, and certainly that has resulted thus far in the people of Tobago seeing rewards that we have never seen before.
And finally, Mr. Augustine, what is your message to the people of Tobago this morning?
Today is a new day. It's raining outside. And yes, for us, the raining simply means that there is an outpouring of blessings from the Most High. Today, we rise to work. We campaign on the slogan, Tobago is we. Tobago is we, meaning that it's not just me, it's not just my team, but it is all of us, and the work that all of us must put in. It calls for us to become even more productive as a people. It calls for us to let our creative genius shine at this time. Certainly, in a world that seem to ignore and roll over small islands, we have to become even more unified, even more together as we press towards creating the greatest little island on the planet. I want Tobagonians to know that we can do it. We have it in us to do it. As a small and perhaps the smallest part of the country, we have contributed in significant ways. Certainly, we, by per capita ratio, have outperformed everywhere else in the country. When it comes to leadership, we have already produced 2 prime ministers and a president. We have produced the first local governor of the central bank. We have produced heads of the public service. In other words, we in the past have produced captains of industry, leaders in our spheres. And so that should be telling to all Tobagonians that we have it within us to actually create the greatest little island on the planet. And we can only do so when we recognize that Tobago is we.
Thank you so much, Mr. Augustine, and we really hope you get some rest before the real work begins. And congratulations to you once again. It's a blue tsunami, as you're calling it.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you for being with us on TNT today. And we've got so much more coming up. All eyes on Tobago, that's what we're saying. We speak with some of the youth voices when we come back.
One point that we could bring there, or that at least from my point of view, you were never really given an ultimatum. So we never spoke about this should take you 2 months, 1 day, 5 days, 6 days, because of the magnitude of what was being asked of you. And that brings me to a very important point when you are setting timelines or ultimatums or roadmaps to get that behavior change. It's, first of all, does your spouse have the willingness to accede to those changes? And I think for you, for what I saw a genuine effort. It wasn't, it wasn't a straight graph that, okay, one day like this and then progressively, smoothly, it was a smooth graph, no dips, no change, no. There were ups and downs in getting there, but there was a willingness. And I think willingness and intent and being on the same page and being motivated to change is a big factor as to how much grace you give someone versus, okay, what timeline should I give someone who doesn't want to change and the behavior is very destructive.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. TTT News brings you the facts that matter most, on air and online. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
back to Trinidad and Tobago today. On the heels of the THA elections, so much is happening. Social media has definitely been a buzz. Last night we had such great coverage coming from the TTT news team, so kudos to them. Throughout the day, we will be bringing you some more updates about everything happening across in Tobago. And of course, later you can look forward to our 7 p.m. newscast with Mariah Ramharak, who you saw yesterday, right here on Trinidad and Tobago today. Coming up inside the show, we talk to the youth voices, also from a broadcast perspective. We're going to be joined very shortly by CivilNet in Tobago. Also, we have a youth parliamentarian with us lined up. We're talking about animal awareness. So much we've always got for you on Trinidad and Tobago today. So last night, what happened in Tobago is being described by Mr. Farley Augustine as a blue tsunami. And as you know, they declared just a little over 9 p.m. yesterday victory, where the party was leading in about 8 to 12 seats. And around 11 p.m., Mr. Augustine addressed his supporters and he said that this is the second time in the last 45 years a political party has won all the THA seats. So this is definitely something that we're keeping all our eyes on. The radar is on. Also, the PNM Tobago Council leader Ansel Dennis conceded defeat at 10 p.m. And I quote, he said, "We've lost the election. I don't know by how many seats or margins, but we've lost. Following the results, I will be stepping aside as leader." Now, we're going to take another perspective on this. It is still the youth perspective, but also from a broadcast and social media perspective. We speak now with Tobago CivilNet lined up on Zoom. We have Ayodele Kujo joining me, the social media manager of Tobago CivilNet. Good morning, Ayodele.
Good morning to you, Shamala. Good morning, TTT. Good morning, Tobago, and by extension, Trinidad and the viewing public.
It's so good to have you on the show. Ayodele, for those who may not know, can you briefly tell us about Tobago CivilNet and the mission behind your organization?
Sure. So those who don't know about Tobago CivilNet, this is a non-profit organization in Tobago. Our mission basically is to promote a thriving Tobago that's built on cornerstones of individual liberty, economic freedom, and accountable governance.
And during the THA elections, what role did Tobago CivilNet play in encouraging civic participation and even voter awareness?
All right, so for this THA elections, we held a show on national television called Conversation with the Chief. This is where political leaders of all the parties who were contesting in 8+ districts, because I mean, there were 4 parties, but only 3 were contesting in 8+ districts. So they were invited to share the same stage and respond to questions that were gathered by the electorate. I must emphasize on that part, these questions weren't selected questions. They were questions that the electorate had for these candidates. It must be noted that it was only the PNM leader, Mr. Ansel K. Dennis, and the ID leader, Dr. Denise at Angus, who would have responded and accepted the invitation.
All right, so Tobago CivilNet organized non-partisan candidate discussions where all the candidates were given the same platform. I want you to tell me, why was it important for you to create a space like this for your voters in Tobago?
Yes, so it's important to create a space like this because especially when you look at the younger population coming up and the way in which the political demographic has changed a bit. Persons are shifting away rather from the typical political landscape that we are accustomed to. You know, everyone's accustomed to that style of, you know, you wake up, you have a meeting at 7 o'clock or whatever, and it's someone on the political platform. Most times they have a little back and forth when it comes to that person talking about other politicians. And then it's like people want to see on a neutral point of view, as in, you not on that political stage. I want to know who you are. What can you do for me? What are your plans for person? And persons are really tend to gravitate to that nature of things. So it's important that we, as a non-partisan organization, provide that space, that environment, so that persons are able to really and truly grasp the candidates who are going up for the respective elections to make them, the electorate, have a conscious decision on who to place their vote for.
Ayodele, from a broadcast perspective, these discussions were streamed online and broadcast on radio and television as well. And I think you attracted over 23,000 online views alone. Am I correct? What does that level of engagement tell you about what the public actually wants from political discourse?
Well, that's a very nice question you asked there. Yes. So this has been broadcasted live. We've been getting a lot of streams because it's a different era, a different gen, as some of the young folks would say. So based on the data that we have gathered from our streams and of course from seeing what the people have been saying, it's really showing that, I mean, I probably mentioned it a little bit earlier before, it's really showing that persons are gravitating to this kind of style of how I go about it, governance and democracy. Persons are gravitating to this environment where it's more than just I wake up to big trucks playing music and I'm going to a political rally to move, like somewhat like if it's a sporting event, I'm a cheerleader kind of vibes or that kind of rally event. And because of this, we were able to create and offer this kind of environment where persons are able to grasp who they are voting for on a neutral environment.
All right. Thank you so much, Ayodele, for joining us this morning on TNT Today. And it really underscores the importance of the work that you do at CivilNet. Keep up the great work, and we hope to chat with you soon again, and hope you have a great day.
Thank you all very much, and hope you all have a great day as well.
All right. Thank you so much. So we're talking about the youth voice as well. We just heard from Ayodele Kujo from CivilNet Tobago. Up next, we will be speaking to someone from the Tobago Youth Council. Let's find out, how are the young people feeling after yesterday's THA elections? What do they think? And we've got joining us Delano Jofield shortly. Hi, Delano. Good morning.
Hi, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, all of the TTT family.
It's good to have you with us. Now, Delano, you're known for speaking out on issues affecting young people. From your perspective, what are some of the key challenges that the youth in Tobago are facing right now?
All right. I think for the youth of Tobago right now, more capacity building is needed. So more programs that allow to build their capacity. I think when you look at housing for young people, affordable housing, it's outcry, especially for young professionals. We look at the issue, and very quickly, because I know we're short on time, we look at the issue of unemployment, but also underemployment, because we have a lot of young people who they are skilled, have certain degrees and so on in certain fields, but we tend to see that they tend to settle for any job that they could get because opportunities aren't available in the field that they studied, which contributes to a higher underemployment rate than the unemployment rate on the island. So I'll just stick with those three for now.
Going back to the election, Delano, do you think that the young people felt adequately represented and engaged during this process?
I would say it is 2080. Because there are young people that I would have met who are on the various political parties, who back the various political parties, and they would have had their voices known and felt engaged, obviously, because they would have been a part of the political process through their parties. But for a number of other young Tobagonians, they felt as though the political process had nothing to do with them. They didn't see the importance of casting their vote and so on. There is still a lot of young people who don't understand the power of their vote, and they choose not to vote because they feel like politicians just only come to them around election time, or they feel like politicians don't work adequately for them to say, well, let's come out and support. And I also think that was shown in the voter turnout this year. I think reports were stating that it was around 23%, whereas in 2021, we had more than 50% of voter base coming out and vote. But even then, a lot of young people did not come out and vote. It was more the older persons. And now we have a drop in that number, which was about like 12,000 something.
Delano, it's interesting that you said that because a couple of years ago I made a statement that I feel sometimes that young people can be used as window dressing. But what do you think, before we wrap it up, how can youths be meaningfully included in the legislative process beyond window dressing and just symbolic representation?
I think some of the opportunities are there. I think persons would have fought, other young people would have fought before us to allow us to get into rooms. I think now it's time for young people. We have, you're hearing me clearly, right? That's what I went. Yes. Today. Okay, great. We have opportunities like just simple youth programs like the Youth Parliament. In Tobago, we have the Tobago Youth Assembly that allows young people, whereas Youth Parliament is for a day, it allows young people, young representatives who are elected by young people to have the opportunity to represent them for a year, right? So they have the opportunity to speak on issues and advocate for young people for a year. And that's also a program that I hope this present Tobago House of Assembly brings back. Apart from that, we have open doors. A lot of the, when you look at joint select committees, they ask for, they have their little youth consultations, or they have the youth voice. A lot of programs, policies, and so on, the government and the THA would ask for youth representation. So I think right now, the avenues are there. It would be remiss of me to not mention that the avenues are there, but I think young people need to rise up and take a stake in their development.
I love that, Delano.
Of
the
Trinidad
young
and
people
Tobago.
need to rise up. Thank you so much, Delano, for joining us. Hopefully you join us again on TNT today. Have a wonderful day.
I really do hope so, because there is so much that there is to talk about.
No problem. We will do that shortly. Thanks, Delano. All right, we got a short break coming up. Next, we've got Rondell Fields and so much more on TNT today.
Watch the passion building and the voices roaring with the mission done and the game is won. With the music talking and the big stage calling, the culture comes alive and it's just endless vibes. The future's bright, we'll be more bright. Now it's sweet time, the time to shine. Life is on, it's no time to be timid. So chase those dreams, live without limit. Is on with Be Mobile. Watch out the man tonight. Give me the wine that I want long time. Get off the globe. Start the show now. Celebrate.
When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Tune in Saturdays for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta.
Good morning. This is TTT News Update at 7 a.m. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. The Tobago People's Party won every seat in the Tobago House of Assembly election on Monday. Leader of the party, Folly Augustine, in his victory speech, said they are the one for the island.
If there were any doubts about whether or not the political institution I lead have the right to lead, if there were any doubts about whether or not the people of Tobago are behind us, today the people of Tobago said we only want an indigenous Tobago political institution to lead.
Based on preliminary results, the Tobago People's Party is set to take full control of the Tobago House of Assembly for the 2026 to 2030 term. The sweeping TPP victory was welcomed by members of the United National Congress government, including ministers Barry Padarath and Philip Alexander, who publicly congratulated the party on its historic win. After it became clear that the Tobago People's Party, or TPP, took a commanding lead in the Tobago House of Assembly election, PNM Tobago Council leader Ansel Dennis conceded defeat at around 10 p.m., acknowledging the party's loss as results continued to come in. Dennis said, "We have lost the election. I don't know by how many seats or by what margins, but we have lost." He also announced that he would be stepping aside as leader once the final results are confirmed. Dennis, who was unsuccessful in his bid for the Buku Mount Pleasant seat, made the statement at the PNM's Tobago headquarters, where the atmosphere was subdued. He added that a recount would be requested for the Darrell Spring WIM seat, which PNM candidate Kelvin Morris lost by a narrow margin of 17 votes. Other parties contesting the election also failed to secure representation. The Innovative Democratic Alliance, IDA, led by Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus, did not win any of the 11 seats it contested, while the Unity of the People, led by Nkosi Phillips, was unsuccessful in the lone seat it contested in Buku Mount Pleasant. In other news, given the recent proposed amendments by the Maternity and Retrenchment Acts, President of the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Rondell Fields, is hopeful that it will be a part of the consultation process. In an interview, he noted that the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago has welcomed the proposed amendments, which will see the introduction of paternity leave.
In general, he would have responded, and he did indicate that he did highlight, or he did make mention that they want us to be consulted when it comes to the drafting, and that is something that we intend to hold them to. We are saying, most importantly, that though we see legislative works on the rise, the time must be suitable for fathers to be able to make meaningful bond with their children and also lend the required support to their spouses and partners. We have always suggested since the Joint Select Committee in 2018 that no less than 2 months,
In sport, the Trinidad and Tobago Schools Basketball Association has announced that the opening ceremony of the secondary schools will take place this Thursday at the Eastern Regional Indoor Sporting Arena in Tacarigua. The opening ceremony will feature a showcase series, giving media houses a first look at the talent across different districts and divisions. During the series, we will see teams from the North, East, and South zones all competing. In a media release, the TTSBA referred to the event as more than just a ceremony, but a statement of intent for the future of basketball in the nation's schools. And that was your TTT News Update. I am Carrie Roberts. We now return to Trinidad and Tobago today. Have a good morning.
Tune in Saturdays for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta. One big bad virtual fed starts in.
Look trouble again. Can't wait to put on the car. Look trouble again. Till I time coming home. Look trouble again. With my friends on the road. I can't you say again. Anywhere I bottle up. Anywhere that have a truck. Anywhere that have a car. Anywhere that have a man. Somebody say soca. Give me life. Somebody say soca. Keep it playing soca. We ain't even know about anything but soca.
The secret lies, secrets, I know the different side. If someone hurts me, I must tell and tell. What are my secrets? How would I know? Things I keep to myself that makes me feel low. Just like controlling behavior is worrying. Don't need to more troubling. Someone who is lying. Things that leave me crying. Inappropriate touching. The secrets lies, secrets, I know the difference. If someone touches me, I must tell and tell. But what will it do if someone deafens you? Tell a girl that I trust. I can do it, yes I must. Share it round to run through. Tell someone that really loves you. Be sure to spread the word and let your voice be heard. Good secrets lies, secrets, I know the difference. If you only mess with us, we will yell and tell. Yeah, we will yell and tell. We will yell and tell. Yeah, we will yell and tell.
Child abuse is one secret you should never keep.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news, real stories in real time. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
When a baby is born, it changes everything. For mothers, yes, but of course for fathers too. For years, men in Trinidad and Tobago have been calling for the chance to be present, to support and to bond with their children in those first critical days. Now, with the government announcing plans for paternity leave and amendments to the Maternity Protection Act, many are calling it a long-awaited step forward. So joining us this morning is the president of the Fathers Association, Rondell Fields. Mr. Fields, you've welcomed the government's announcement on paternity and parental leave. Why is this such a significant milestone for fathers in TNT?
Morning. Thanks for having me. And I don't even need to explain that. Fathers are part of the family. Fathers are part of the community. Some people even say fathers are the pillar of the family. We only see father as this protective being or this disciplinarian, but fathers nurture as well. And this is actually giving fathers the opportunity to nurture. This is actually telling our younger generation of males that we see that they can be valuable when it comes to parenting and that they can contribute well. So we're actually giving them the opportunity at this time. I can tell you, most definitely, fathers for the last decade since we've been advocating have wanted that opportunity. And also husbands have wanted that opportunity to support their spouses as well and never had it. Mothers, wives have also wanted, and some of them needed that support and they weren't able to have it because their husbands or their partners could not access paternity leave, any real paternity leave.
Mr. Fields, your association has been advocating for this for nearly 2 decades. We've spoken about this before, actually, earlier on when I used to be on Talk City. What does this moment represent for you personally and for your organization?
Definitely for us, we're elated. For me personally, it's like the first award, really. I was given a national award, but it doesn't compare to the feeling that I have now. Because to receive a national award and don't really see national change, I don't think I'd have felt that level of accomplishment. But to be able to know that you've put in so many years, almost a decade and a half, and that you can now see that is going to bring about the change that you envision that could come, that is something that I would really be grateful for.
Well, speaking about change, let's talk legislation now. What are you hoping to see specifically in that final legislation when it comes to time allotted for fathers?
I mean, specifically, we are hoping to see what has been already set as precedent across some corporate entities and also some international organizations. Even, I mean, we have Flow across the region has set some good, fine examples. We have Microsoft as well that have set some. We even have Right Telecommunication at Trinidad and Tobago here who has amended their policy as well, their parenting policy, and has given fathers substantial parental leave. So we are hoping that nothing less than 8 weeks or 2 months should be given to our father to be able to develop the bond, to be able to support his wife. And if it was up to me, I would go the same 12 weeks or the same 3 months. Because we also need to look at the issue that have been raised and have raised for years as well. We've spoken about gender equality, we've spoken about gender equity in the workplace pertaining to women, but I don't think we've really analyzed the areas where men are impacted or discriminated against when it comes to gender equity or equality in the workplace. And parental leave is one of those areas where they make the same national insurance contributions, yet they can't access meaningful, before they couldn't even access legislated parental leave. But I mean, even the policy directives that there was just 2 to 3 days. So they were never able to truly access meaningful and suitable parental leave to facilitate their bonding experience with their children and also to support their wives. So, I mean, it's very ironic and it's very hypocritical to some extent for us to have mounted so many platforms, so many different persons that have mounted platforms for years of seniority, members of governments and cabinets, presidents, prime ministers, pastors, pundits, and have told men to step up, be better fathers, be there for your children. And we've never really given them anything substantial to step on. So this to us is something that is landmark, and we believe this will be a paradigm shift for Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to parenting. The entire region, and that's the hurtful thing, I mean, our organization have been sought out through the International Men's Day Committee throughout the entire region to come and treat with them and help them when it comes to drafting of parental leave for fathers. And it was never a discussion in Trinidad until today. Only a discussion when we raised it, but this is the first time that we're actually seeing that finally, over a decade and a half, it seems that we're really going to reap benefit for the hard work and the hard toiling over those years.
Mr. Fields, you touched on gender equity and, of course, contributions to national insurance. And I know that you are basically saying that you feel like this policy finally reflects that fairness. I want to touch a little bit about contract workers, because in the past, access was limited, especially for contract workers. Now, how important is it that these new amendments extend protection for all categories of workers?
It's critical and important, and just to correct you, contract workers had no access. The CPO directive for public servants was only for permanent workers, 2 to 3 days. So if you were contracted, in other words, in our local parlance, it was suck salt. So imagine fathers and wanting to spend time, the plethora of messages and emails and phone calls of young fathers who were so expectant of being there for their children, being there for their wives, being there for their partners, but they couldn't without having to take their vacation leave, without having to take no pay leave, and jeopardizing the family. So, I mean, this is something, as I said, it is very critical and important that it is drafted the right way, so there's suitable time given to the father to be able to bond with his child. As I said, we have all seen and we have all heard, we've seen the statistics of father absenteeism in the home. Now, a father could be absent because he's at work all the time as well. You know? We don't look at it at that part as well. So we need to understand the significance and the value of really putting family first sometimes.
So we're talking about putting family first.
This will assist.
We're talking about putting family first, but do you anticipate any pushback from employers in terms of concerns about productivity or cost when it comes to this initiative?
Oh man, I don't see so at all. As I said, I made examples of bigger corporate entities than some of that we have in Trinidad and Tobago, and also regionals, as I mentioned. Flow as well. I know Scotiabank as well. They have something there as well. We even have state entities like Telecommunication Authority that has also extended theirs. And we've heard no complaints. Actually, the reports we've heard from these organizations, it was actually beneficial. We now work in a new space. I'm a businessman myself. I myself could never benefit from parental leave because I am a boss. I will have to pay it. But I understand the value of fatherhood and their contribution to a family. And that is the general consensus that I have received most times from both small businessmen and bigger businessmen when we consider or speak on parental leave for fathers.
Mr. Fields, I see you keep going back to the global picture. Now, globally, we're seeing companies offer up to 12 weeks of paternity leave. Do you think that Trinidad and Tobago is ready for that kind of shift?
But of course, if we are ready for real change, if we really saying that we put in family first, if we really saying that we want to change the face of our society at this point, we're seeing it. We are at a time now that I said that we actually have a younger generation that has had a better rhetoric when it comes to fatherhood. Our generation of men heard negativity about fatherhood. When we grew up as boys, we heard about the deadbeat. We heard about never wanting to get married because some of the issues that it had at the court system, or don't have children because they will take your children and you wouldn't have them. We heard these horror stories, and some of them were really true. But since that, from the genesis of organizations like ourselves, like B-Men, like a number of other groups that have started to encourage healthy fatherhood and fight for rights for men when it comes to parenting. This generation of boys, I sat and listened to them in a debate in the Tobago House of Assembly, and they are very much excited to be fathers. So I think we have an opportunity here where that we should not waste it. And as I said, if we are talking about gender equity in the workplace, and a mother can access her full potential or capability when it comes to bonding, or at least a suitable amount of time, why can't a husband access that, or a father access that to his child, or a husband access that to his wife to support her? We have to consider that we've had situations where fathers had their wives, husbands had their wives die giving birth. And when they were giving birth, they actually didn't find the time, they couldn't find the leave to take care of their children. They couldn't find the leave to take care of their newborn children. We have to consider there are mothers that suffer from postpartum depression, now healing from C-section and surgeries. The women call me at length and measure when I start to speak about paternity leave. Because you see, we have a perception that every father is bad or every husband is bad. But there are a lot of women there that have a lot of husbands that love them and a lot of others that are good.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Fields. You always have so much to say, and we know this is an ongoing discussion, so maybe we'll have you back on the show to continue this conversation another time. But for now, thank you so much for joining us, and we do look forward to seeing the progress of this initiative.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a wonderful day. When we come back, redefining normal with Shamla Miraj as we continue on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
One point that we could bring there, or that at least from my point of view, you were never really given an ultimatum. So we never spoke about this should take you 2 months, 1 day, 5 days, 6 days, because of the magnitude of what was being asked of you. And that brings me to a very important point when you are setting timelines or ultimatums or roadmaps to get that behavior change. It's, first of all, does your spouse have the willingness to accede to those changes? And I think for you, for what I saw a genuine effort. It wasn't, it wasn't a straight graph that, okay, one day like this and then progressively, smoothly, it was a smooth graph, no dips, no change, no. There were ups and downs in getting there, but there was a willingness. And I think willingness and intent and being on the same page and being motivated to change is a big factor as to how much grace you give someone.
Yeah.
Versus, okay, what timeline should I give someone who doesn't want to change?
Right, that's
And the
it.
behavior is very destructive.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Tune in Saturdays for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta.
Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's Terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world on Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forest alongside our robot pals from Bugspot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch Terrific Toon Time Monday to Friday at 8:30 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
One big bad virtual fan starts in. Look trouble again, can't wait to put on the clothes. Look trouble again, tonight I'm coming home. Look trouble again, with my friends on the road. I can't you say again, anywhere I bottle up, anywhere that have a truck, anywhere that have a car, anywhere that have a man. Somebody say soca, give me life. Somebody say soca, keep it playing soca. We ain't even know about anything but soca.
The time now is 7:25 a.m. in Sweet TNT. And now it is an honor and privilege to say good morning and give an official welcome to Shamla Miraj and her segment, Redefining Normal. Good morning, Shamla. It's great to have you on TNT today.
Good morning, Virmala. It's a pleasure to have you with me today as well. How are you
It's so good to see you. I'm great. It's so good to see you, Shamla. It's really been a while. We definitely need to catch up.
That's for sure. It's been years, actually, and time goes so fast, and life just gets so easy that, it actually don't feel like that, but it's been years.
All right, Sham, I really must congratulate you on all the amazing work you've been doing. And I know that today you have a wonderful session with Dr. Nicholas Miraj for us. So I'm going to leave all of this in your capable hands, Shamla.
Awesome.
All right. It's Redefining Normal with Shamla Miraj.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to Redefining Normal with me, Shamla. Today, I have the honor and privilege of having Dr. Nicholas Miraj. And often at the beginning of the year, we often hear about fitness, health, and what can be done in order to elevate our fitness and health and have longevity and productivity in our lives. And what we hear is like going to the gym, going for walks, having these things. But we don't often hear that, okay, what about persons with limited mobility and fitness? And also with fitness comes mental clarity. So Dr. Maharaj is here. Maharaj is here to talk about, fitness and how it can impact us and what we can do having limited mobilities. So good morning, Dr. Maharaj. It's a pleasure having you. How are you doing?
Pleasant good morning, Shamla. Thank you so very much for having me again. Morning to everybody in Trinidad and Tobago.
And it's a pleasure always having you. So why is physical health so critical to the quality of life and long-term independence, especially for persons with limited mobility?
It's a good question, Shamla. Physical health is really like the foundation of independence. You combine strength, balance, endurance, and when these things start to decline, people lose their ability to do daily things, getting out of bed, bathing, walking, or even sitting down comfortably. And for patients with like neurological conditions or limited mobility, maintaining physical health tends to preserve what functionality we have for as long as possible. It reduces lots of complications and support their mental well-being, which is super important. And helps patients try to not become too dependent.
Take the momentum. So how does low movement affect brain, muscle, circulation, and overall health over time?
Pretty much very widespread. Muscles tend to weaken and they shrink. The joints tend to become stiff. Blood circulation slows down, and this increases the risk of swelling, blood clots, pressure injuries for any patient who's been immobile for a period of time. And from a brain perspective, movement is a stimulus. Reduced movement worsens memory, mood, and motivation. And over time could accelerate things like cognition decline. So that's how the low movement could affect all those things.
I guess a daily impact of your life, mentally and physically. So for persons who can't exercise traditionally, what safe and effective options still exist to stay healthy?
So the general population frames exercise in this traditional sense. They don't need to be traditional exercises. Chair-based movement, stretches, resistance bands, assistant walking, water-based therapy, or even guided breathing. All of those things count as physical activity. Things that we tend to disregard is everyday activities such as transferring from bed to chair, reaching, light household tasks, or just moving to music. So carnival season's upon us, so just moving to Alberta Soca, all that counts as physical exercise. The goal is really not intensity, it's just regularity and consistency.
Just keeping that momentum going daily, for blood
Yeah.
flow and circulation and stuff. So, from a neurological perspective, what simple daily practices can help reduce stiffness, pain, and physical decline?
From a neurological perspective, consistency is really the key.
Right.
Stretches, regular positional changes, short movement sessions spread throughout the day, keeps the joints flexible and keeps the muscles engaged. So simple practices, seated exercises, warmth before movement to warm up the muscles, and keeping a predictable routine reduces the stiffness, reduces pain. And these small movements done consistently sends the necessary signals to our brain and the nervous system to help maintain functionality.
I'm not too sure if viewers get the drift, but this also would help persons who are older in age and also who suffer with arthritis and so on, who have limited mobility. This segment is also for you. So, where do you see the biggest gaps in equitable access to special care? Because you're a specialist, you're a neurologist, right? And oftentimes we need access to a specialist, right? Like rehabilitation and so on, and tailored health intervention for persons with disability. What gaps do you see in equitable access to these services?
You like to ask some hard questions here. It's really access to specialists, access to rehabilitation services and programs that are designed for people with different abilities. And some of these services are limited, expensive, and geographically difficult to reach for people who have differentially able. So, and there's also a gap in continuity of care. Rehab itself for people who have differential abilities is not a one-stop thing. It's not a one-time thing. It's supposed to be a prolonged lifetime endeavor because that's what helps achieve the goals that's necessary to live a good quality of life for these types of patients and individuals.
And what changes are needed to make fitness rehabilitation, like for example, right, mainstream fitness and rehabilitation, opportunities to make these wellness more inclusive?
It needs to shift from a kind of one-size-fits-all modality to be more inclusive and a more person-centered approach. Professionals need to be trained to adapt exercises to individuals rather than to create a basket of exercises that could be one size fit all. So the people who just make these exercises and put them on YouTube, put them on television, and say, "Cool, let's get fit with this." It needs to be much more guided to the individual person, respecting their different abilities, person by person.
From your own experience, right? I'm sure you deal with persons with disabilities, right? And persons with neurological conditions. Do you see an opportunity in Trinidad and Tobago to have these tailored fitness and wellness? And do you see I won't say the education system, but the system in this context, having educating persons or experts in this field to tailor these fitness and wellness routines?
Definitely, because as long as there's a will, there's a way. And once the market is available for people who have these differential abilities, people will come to acquire the skills and the necessary person-centered approaches. Many of the therapists I've worked with, as well as some of the just general gym people, have started becoming a bit more inclusive in what they provide for their clients and are a lot more understanding of people's different abilities and cater their workout routines or whatever type of routine to be specific for people with different abilities. Yeah, there's definitely opportunity here.
And just one more question. In terms of like occupational therapy, physiotherapy, and so on, do you see like doctors often are aware and recommend these type of therapies to persons, and obviously therapy can be sometimes, especially for physical disability, logistically difficult because the gaps in terms of your transportation, and then financial, because a lot of persons with disability just work living off a disability grant. So in the public sector, are these services readily available?
Physiotherapy is readily available through all of the public hospitals, as far as I'm aware. Occupational therapy and speech therapy in certain institutions, I believe, have them. And there's a specific rehabilitation clinic out of Eric Williams, headed by Dr. Jared Antoine, who's a fantastic rehab specialist. He has a clinic there, right next to the rehabilitation facility. He does a lot of good quality work with people who have suffered neurological injury, who've been born with differential abilities also. So yeah, there's that opportunity there.
And is it consistent in terms of, because like my case, for example, I have to be consistent going weekly and so on. Is it consistent that in terms of they can go weekly?
Weekly is usually the pretty much standard of treatment. It's just access.
Yes.
We need more. It just needs more. Need more people. Need more access.
I was trying to get that out of you, Dr. Nicholas Marat. I want to say thank you so much for always sharing your knowledge. And I really hope that not only persons with disabilities, but persons with limited mobilities and persons who are senior can leverage out of this interview. Thank you so much. And I want to wish you all the best for the rest of the year. And I will definitely have you on again during this year. So it's always a pleasure.
Happy New Year, Shamla. Happy New Year to people at TNT. Thanks so much for having me. Have a lovely week.
And this is redefining normal with me, Shamla. As I always say, be good, do good. Bye, everyone.
Tune in Saturdays for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta.
Being gentle with each other and your feelings, and creating this safe space. It should be a safe space to be able to share your feelings and your emotions, and even things that you don't like or have an issue with. It should feel safe.
Yes.
And you shouldn't feel like you're so afraid to come to your partner to say something because, oh my gosh, as you said, they're going to threaten me with this, that, and the other. They might leave me, I don't know. And there's so much stress oftentimes that people carry, that they kind of ball up and they stay in a corner and stay in a shell until perhaps they explode, or perhaps they walk away.
Right. And we want you to know that no marriage is beyond repair. No relationship is beyond repair. But when you're considering timelines and how long something should take, definitely your welfare, your well-being, your safety. You want to consider all of these aspects.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Your news anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
19 minutes before 8 o'clock in Sweet TNT. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Hopefully the traffic isn't too bad wherever you're streaming us live from. Well, it's good to have you. Nil Bamboo, a global R&B artist whose fluid, sensual sound blends soul, rhythm, and storytelling into music that moves like water. Welcome to the show, Nil. Thanks so much for joining us on TNT today.
Hi, good morning.
So, Nell, you were born in Trinidad and Tobago and you moved to South Florida, right? How has this journey really impacted your music?
It's impacted it a lot. I think going back home, it is like the best feeling ever. It's like missing something and then going home and like literally feeling complete. You know, I moved when I was about 4 and I've been in Fort Lauderdale ever since. So going back home, it honestly is like, it's a little unexplainable, to be honest.
Yeah, I heard you were here yesterday and I know you only left maybe last night. How long were you in Trinidad for, and did you perform? Did you attend a carnival party? How was your stay here?
I was there since Wednesday and I'm a little sad right now that I'm not there. Yeah, I was doing a lot of radio, a lot of studio. I did an event on Saturday. I went to Teja's event as well. On Sunday. I had so much fun. I'm like so jealous I'm not there.
So Nell, you started with R&B. Tell me what pulled you into that soca area?
Well, soca is like literally, granted, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Like my family is very, very cultured. They had a carnival band up here. So I literally grew up in a mass camp. They were making beats. They were gluing things in the living room. Like we've been doing it for like over 20 years. So it's very much like in my veins.
So
I feel like it was time.
South Florida especially keeps, I would say, West Indian culture alive. How do you keep the Trinidad spirit alive in Florida?
Definitely, I think growing up in a carnival family helped. But I mean, like all of my friends are, majority are like Trini, Jamaican, Guyanese. We listen to a lot of music, food, parties. The culture is very much alive in South Florida, specifically Fort Lauderdale and Miami.
So let me ask you a personal question. If you were given a chance with a Trinidad artist for a collaboration, who would that be?
I'd say probably Teja. I love Kutain. Tano's amazing as well. And then the greats, obviously, like the Destras, the Mashas, Kess. Those would be like ideal, I think.
I know you just left Trinidad, but I feel somehow that you're going to come back very soon. Are you coming back for Carnival, or have you ever experienced Carnival?
No, unfortunately, I haven't played Mass back home. It is honestly like the one thing that I want to do. I'm working on coming back before the season is over, but it's just so short. So I'm not sure if I'll be back for Carnival, but I will definitely be on the road 2027.
So I know you have a song out right now. What sort of feedback have you been getting for this song?
A lot of good feedback, actually, which has honestly been like really warm for me because it's very new genre. Everything is new. Granted, soca is not new to me, but the release is new and everything just warm. A lot of people have been liking it. They've been loving it. So I can't ask for more, really.
All right. Well, we actually have that song queued up right about now. Let's take a little listen. It's Nil Bamboo.
Man, relax and give love a chance. Even though things are now work out to me past now, baby. But we could salvage the little we are. Cause our foundation without trust is like some chicken without gravy. Some is the love we used to share. Outside I get up any gallery, used to fit everywhere. I used to swing my bumper in front of your soul. Let we rekindle, man, let we mingle. Let we start back in like we single. If you don't have no plans, you could take me out tonight. So when we dance,
We're good. Oh, that's a beautiful song, and you really do have a beautiful voice, Nil.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I can really see that the feedback has been amazing for this song. What challenges, though, have you faced as a young entertainer, especially now that you're crossing genres from R&B to soca?
I mean, I think with everything, there are a lot of challenges, but this is something that I really want to do. And I think that, I'm just really excited to be in this space. I'm really honored to be in this space. I've been receiving more good than bad feedback, but I think definitely transitioning genres, transitioning anything is always a bit, difficult at first, but I've been really excited and I've been really wanting to do this for a long time. So I'd say all challenges we're overcoming and we're facing them.
Nil, I would love to hear your music in Trinidad and Tobago, especially for the carnival season. Has the song been played yet in South Florida? I know lots of Caribbean people live there. So how's the song doing there?
The song is doing good. Like my friends, my listeners, they're streaming it. Our season is in October, so I think definitely like in October it'll be able to be streamed and played more, especially with Carnival down here. But my fans, my listeners, they're definitely like streaming it.
So do you see yourself performing on stage for Miami Carnival?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you ready for that performance? Would that make you nervous?
No. I mean, big crowd. Obviously, it's Miami Carnival, but I grew up in Miami Carnival, so absolutely not afraid. That is one performance I'm looking forward to.
Any words of advice to young women interested maybe in getting involved and creating soca music as you're just entering that genre? Any tips, any warnings, any words of encouragement, Nil?
I'd say be very, very confident. Know yourself, know what you want to do, and make sure that you surround yourself with really, really great people, good people, genuine people. And I think from there, it should be easy. It should be fun. And make sure it feels fun. I think that'd be my main thing. It has to feel fun.
Yeah. And before we close, what words do you have for our viewers about Nil Bamboo?
I just firstly want to say thank you for having me. I'm honored to be in this space. I'm happy to be back home. I'm happy to be more in the culture, in my culture, and it means everything to me to be able to make soca music and just to be welcomed, into the space. It's been a long time since I've been home, and I'm just happy to be back.
So I've got one more question for you, and this is a little bit personal. If you do Carnival for the first time, what would that look like for you? What's your ideal Carnival experience?
Back home, you mean, yes?
Yes.
What? I don't even know.
Come on.
My God. So I want to be on the truck. I want to be on the road. I want to be I can't even explain it. Trinidad Carnival feels like a dream. It is. There's nothing like it in this world. And just to be around good people. I don't really drink, but we're drinking some water.
Okay. Stay hydrated.
Tons of water. A lot of whining, a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, a lot of pumping, and just being with family and friends, I'd say.
Do you see yourself being able to do both Monday and Tuesday, or would you just be, let me just do one day and see how I feel? Let me just, feel it out.
I'm going full throttle, okay? I am a full-blown Trini. Granted, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going hard, but funny question because I did think about that. I was like, maybe Monday. I don't know. I might choose one because I love Monday, but Tuesday is the day. I don't know. I'm going all days, all week, all month.
Oh, well, that sounds good. That sounds really ambitious, Nil. You know what? I just might join you. Thank you so much, Nil Bamboo, for joining us on Trinidad and Tobago today. Best of luck and also a beautiful song.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
All right. Thank you so much. We head to a short break. When we come back, so much more inside TNT Today.
Line and Length, the #1 cricket program in the West Indies, is on TTT. Line and Length brings you up-to-date interviews, analysis, and highlights on the game in the region and internationally. Line and Length in association with Massey United Insurance on TTT.
Watch out the man wants along tonight. Tommy causing trouble. Not a trouble. Give me the wine that I want long time. La Versace, get off the globe. Start a shot now. Salame bon. Up to the rhythm. Up. Up. Up.
Your news anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Tune in Saturdays for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta.
Being gentle with each other and your feelings and creating this safe space. It should be a safe space to be able to share your feelings and your emotions and even things that you don't like or have an issue with. It should feel safe.
Yes.
And you shouldn't feel like you're so afraid to come to your partner to say something because, oh my gosh, as you said, they're going to threaten me with this, that, and the other. They might leave me, and I don't know, and there's so much stress oftentimes that people carry, that they kind of ball up and they stay in a corner and stay in a shell until perhaps they explode or perhaps they walk away.
Right. And we want you to know that no marriage is beyond repair. No relationship is beyond repair. But when you're considering timelines and how long something should take, definitely your welfare, your well-being, your safety, you want to consider all of these aspects.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago today on TTT. What an amazing show we had. Just a little recap of everything happening. We talked about the THA elections. We heard, and you heard it first here from Mr. Farley Augustine. How is the road to just this new administration going to look like? Of course, we also heard from the youth voices. We heard from Dr. Shane Mohammed, political analyst. Also joining us on the show today, we had Redefining Normal with Shamla Miraj and Dr. Nicholas Miraj. And Nil Bamboo shared her amazing song with us this morning. Also, Don't forget our Pavement Lime series. It is happening. Carnival Pump. Meet we on the road. We're talking all about fair play this carnival. You can check out all the information you need on our social media. And as we promised this morning, sadly could not be with us in studio. We're talking to Clifford Tardew of Tardew Sanctuary. He's an animal rescuer doing such an amazing job. Animal cruelty continues to spark outrage across TNT with disturbing cases circulating almost weekly on social media. Joining us now, Tardew's Sanctuary, Clifford Tardew, and I believe he's on the line. Good morning, Cliff.
Good morning. Good morning. Do you hear me okay?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just couldn't make it. The traffic was just too much.
I totally understand, Cliff. In the interest of time this morning, I really want to have a quick conversation. Oh, such cute cats on the screen. Oh, my goodness. Clifford has been doing an amazing job with his wife. He's one of the many rescuers who continue to rehabilitate animals across Trinidad and Tobago. Cliff, I know it's been a very, very, very overwhelming, I would say, past few years. It's so much work you've been doing. Tell us about Tardew Sanctuary.
All right. So my wife and I, we've been married about 35 years, and we started rescuing in 1991. And it's been a long road, and we finally got a lovely piece of property in Valencia, and we moved from renting a property in San Juan, where we now have about 256 cats, about 45 dogs. But the good thing is that we also rehome at least 50 to 60 cats and kittens a year, and about 60 to 70 dogs a year. So it's not just picking up or helping animals; it's also about rehoming.
Yeah. Cliff, you're always one of those who very quick to help as soon as we see a case on social media and someone's asking, can someone pick up this animal? Usually Clifford gets out there along with the usual rescuers, and there's just such a big burden. Before we wrap it up, Cliff, we keep seeing horrifying cases of animal abuse across Trinidad and Tobago. How bad really is the situation?
COVID gave us a break, and then it's come back really, really strong.
Yeah.
In that many people are not taking the time or the effort or the money to actually spay and neuter their animals. So we see them on the highways all the time.
All the time.
And it's really, really, it's a societal problem in that our children are becoming desensitized by seeing these dead animals. We're seeing suffering. But it has gotten so much worse.
All right.
So we need
Thank you so much, Cliff. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We will have you back on the show at some point. That's so much to talk about. Thank you so much for joining us on TNT today. Coming up next, we've got the major network news at 8 a.m. with Carrie. Join us tomorrow on Trinidad and Tobago Today. We start at 6 a.m. every day, Monday to Friday on TTT.
Now listen, this is your boy Carlos Edwards, and as a former player, let me tell you, it's the fans, man. The fans that made the game, that's the 12th man right there. And when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, there's only one 12th man you need to know. My guy, Andre Baptiste on TTT, is bringing the heat every Tuesday.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News update at 8. I am Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Trinidad and Tobago's presence on the international football refereeing stage continues to grow, with 14 local match officials appointed to the FIFA referees panel for 2026. The appointments confirmed through FIFA reflect the continued progress of Trinidad and Tobago's refereeing program and underlines the country's reputation for producing officials capable of performing at the highest level of the game. Among the selected are referees Timothy Derry, Cecil Hines, Nikolai Nyron, and Crystal Sobers. Some of the chosen assistant referees were Kurt Charles, Karen Myers, and Melissa Nicholas. In a media release, the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association congratulated all 14 officials on this significant achievement and extends best wishes as they represent Trinidad and Tobago across CONCACAF and on the global stage during the 2026 year. And that was your TTT News update. I am Carrie Roberts. Have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
Wait for me, Star!
Night has fallen on the unknown forest.
A bite! A bite! Oh, really? You got something? Let's see. It must be a really big Phooey, it's only a boat. I thought you caught a whale.